Hey there, Angie Rae with Girl Less Toxic. Who's on tap today? I'm not really wanting to get into the Harry and Meghan sort of back and forth issue. Rich people, whatever. But I do want to talk about this specific issue involving Harry and Meghan. So, Harry's daddy evicted him and his wife. You don't get to stay here anymore. Now, where they were is something called Frogmore Cottage, and it was refurbished, and I believe the folks in England paid for it back when Meghan and Harry were still living over there. But they ultimately paid for the cost of refurbishment. It was £2.5 million. So they paid for it. Okay, they paid for what was refurbished. But King Charles III, Harry's father, has said, you all are evicted. From my understanding, he has offered them a place in Buckingham Palace. Just all this richness that I'm talking about is ridiculous, and I really do hate to have this conversation, except this is just so flippin' toxic, and that is Andrew. I don't even want to call him Prince Andrew. I was about to say another word. We're going to keep it moving, Angie Rae. Keep it moving, girlfriend. This guy hanging out with sex trafficking rapist Jeffrey Epstein, who finally got put in jail and then committed suicide, or something went down while he was there. He never, ever, ever went to trial. Okay. This guy, man, all these rich men are around this guy, whether it's Bill Clinton, Bill Gates, you name it, they're around him. Donald Trump. Okay. This guy is known for raping underage girls. And Prince Andrew was a part of his friend group. Okay? So Prince Andrew was accused by Virginia Giuffre of raping her and assaulting her. At the time she was 17. She's accused of doing it, of raping her at Jeffrey Epstein's Lolita Island in the U.S. Virgin Islands, at his mansion in New York City, and his former girlfriend's house in London. So this has been going on and on for years, as you and I know. And finally, last year, 2022, they settled out of court. And reportedly, the settlement is between $12 and $16 million. Now, hold all calls. Where the money going to come from? Because he paid it. Did that come from out of the pockets of the folks who live in Great Britain? They are struggling right now. Struggling. Your average Joe like me, like you, struggling. But yet, somehow, somewhere, found $12.6 million to make the settlement payment. And according to my research, Queen Elizabeth gave him $2 million for the settlement. 2.7, almost 3. So the reason I'm mentioning all of this is because reportedly King Charles III and Prince William both sat around and decided that Meghan and Harry had to go. I believe they were kicked out before Harry's book came out, or right after. And they are thinking about moving Andrew in there. Now, Andrew was stripped of this, that, and the other. Can't have an office over at Buckingham Palace. Can't do this, that. The family has just really done a decent job of letting him know you are persona non grata. But not this. So they're moving him out of his fancy place. And he's madder than a wet hen. Madder than a wet hen. Let me tell you. Can I get a little something?
You are so right. You are so right.
Let me tell you where he lives now. It's called Royal Lodge in Windsor Great Park. Just sounds rich. He had 30 rooms, y'all. 7 bedrooms. And guess what? He's got a saloon. Adult beverages? What? This is where Queen Elizabeth's mom lived for 70 years. So it is a very nice place, obviously. And instead of them just kicking him to the curb, like they're kicking Harry and Meghan to the curb, they're like, no, we still want to give him a place to live. Now, it's not grandeur like he's used to, which he's upset about. Upset about. This guy, he literally is not taking any responsibility for what he did. He sees no wrong because he is privileged. And there is no greater privilege than the House of Windsor, okay? What has he ever had to scrape and scrounge for, huh? Well, his ex-wife, Sarah Fergie, she lives with him too. So, and they've always, they were divorced, but they've always kind of lived together. So I'm curious if she's going to be going to Frogmore Cottage with him. This is unacceptable. Meghan and Harry, they haven't murdered anybody. They haven't raped anybody. They haven't, none of that. But they got to go. But you still get to stay. It may not be in this grandeur place, but they still found a spot for you. They still found a place for you. And I know your mama loved you to death. From my understanding, you were her favorite. Whatever. On her too. Dude. Now you want to try to appeal the settlement. Dude. You did it. Leave it alone. You settled it. Now you want to take it back? Well, this guy is disgusting. Anybody who hangs around Jeffrey Epstein is disgusting. And I've listed a few names today, so I find them to be disgusting and morally reprehensible. Toxicity. This is toxic. It is so toxic and so harmful and so nasty. Let's just put up toxic all over the screen. I just want to see toxic, because that's what this is. And that's a shame. Again, I'm not getting to the Harry and the Meghan thing. I'm getting into the Prince Andrew. What a prince he is. What a prince you are.